Hello, friends. Good afternoon. So let's start with a prayer to the Supreme God, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones. We humbly invoke for your divine guidance, divine love, divine blessings, for illumination, for divine oneness, divine bliss, divine health, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. Okay. So welcome to maybe class 7, right? I think today is class 7, right? Okay. So we have few topics today. Before we start the topics, let me just take the question and answers that were asked today. 2 questions, right? First one was, where it is? Yeah. Somebody asks, I have just begun my journey on acceptance and surrender, though it is exciting me with results and peace. It is still giving me a few queries, which I would like to put across. I have always been a brilliant student, topper in all my classes. In spite of studying well, I was somehow never able to go for most desired PhD. There was always some obstacles and some laid back attitude from my end when actions had to be taken. Now, when I see someone pursuing it, I feel very sorry and feel very bad. Although I've always done odd jobs, worked for peanuts, in fact, still doing that, never got paid very well in my college, and lesser experience draws better. So somebody with less experience draws better. Whenever I'm working, I'm always the one who's not recognized, though I thought to be a non-performer, where in fact I do my job more loyally than the others who just do to impress and show off more than work. I feel very restless there. I'm nearly 45 and near the end of my career, and I still carry this with me. Why? Why do I carry this with me? Okay, so see, here I think what we have to notice is that the person or anybody for that matter, when they think that they deserve more, right? When they think that they deserve more than what life is offering to them. But then one thing that we fail to understand is life is actually something like an autopilot. Life is going like an autopilot, right? There are no flaws in this way life is actually treating us. There are no flaws. But there could be limitations in the way we think, correct? So if I think that I deserve more, but I'm not actually getting it, am I also walking towards becoming more deserving? That is also something that we need to think about. Am I walking the path of abundance if I'm constantly thinking from a place of lack and saying that abundance is not coming to me, abundance is not coming to me? Will I get abundance? The universe is just responding to what we ask. If I am speaking from a place of lack, I am asking for lack. And we are like creators, and we are taken very seriously. Universe takes us very seriously, our word very seriously, our thoughts very seriously, our intentions very seriously. And if I'm intending to be continuing to be in a state of lack, then why will I get to that state of abundance? It is just honoring our wish, right? But the universe is a very inclusive universe. Inclusive means whether you say I don't like it, whether you say I like it, you'll still actually you'll still, what do you say, not get it, because both I like that, but I don't have it. I don't like that. That also is like you don't have it. So either way, you will still continue to keep attracting that in your life. So what is very important is, irrespective of what is happening in front of us, we just have to see how am I responding if something is coming in front of me and I don't like it. Why don't I like it? Is it that other thing? Is it the one that is in front of me actually, like for example, in this case, let's say the boss is not appreciating me, he's not giving me appraisals. Is he responsible for that? Or me thinking from a place of lack is responsible for this whole series of experience that is just showing one common thing, which is I am very comfortable with being in my state of lack, or I have a belief. Let's say there is a cage around me and I have a belief, and that belief says that I don't have. The belief says I don't have. And you will continue to keep recognizing or seeing everything from the place of your cage. I don't have. See, from there I don't have. Here I don't have. Here I don't have. Somebody else got the appreciation. I don't have. Somebody else got the money. I don't have. I studied hard for PhD, but I don't have the degree. I'm a topper, but I don't have the rank. Rather, I'm a topper material, but I don't have the rank. So, or maybe I was a topper and then I got the rank also, but over a period of time, that when we tend to always want to be the topper, exceptional candidate and all of that, we may have probably slipped because of lots of other cages that we built around ourselves. That also impacted that energy that we carry, which needs to be in abundance. Okay. So hence, it's very important to see whether did I walk the path of being a deserving candidate from the universe's side. If I have not walked the path of being deserving, then obviously there is no right to expect things from a place of lack. Okay. So what is the first thing I would do if I'm in this kind of condition where I say that nothing is working for me? I'm not being recognized at work. I don't have great jobs. I'm earning peanuts. Somebody's earning more than stuff, right? Vaishali, can you sit in one place? Otherwise, the screen keeps moving. Yeah. Or you can switch off, sit in one place, and then you can switch on. So here, what should I think? I should think that, okay, first, let me start to focus on what I currently have, right? If I'm not, if I, why would the universe take me to abundance if I don't have the habit of recognizing abundance, if I don't have the habit of being grateful? Why will the universe take me to abundance? Even if, let's say, hypothetically, the universe gives you everything that you want, because of the habit of not recognizing what you are already having, you will continue to keep saying, I'm currently in point number A, but I'm actually not there in point number B. And your eyes are always in point number B. Even if God, let's say today I'm in point number A, but I wanted to go to point number B. Hypothetically, even if God, let's say, puts you in point number B, you will still keep looking at point number C because you have never developed the attitude of looking in the point that where you are put to see, wow, I'm actually in the place of abundance now. Let's say you're getting peanuts, let's say 2,000 rupees per hour or something like that. Sorry, 2,000 rupees per month or something. Then let's say you get a job, hypothetically, even if it pays you 5,000, you will still say that my colleagues are now getting 10,000, I'm getting only 5,000. See, that is the attitude that actually has to change. It is the bhav that has to change. It is never about the external situation. The external situation, for a person who looks at it with colored eyes or colored glass, will always see the same color getting reflected in those circumstances. If I'm wearing a red color glass and I see the world will always look red. But actually that experience was never red in the color, right? We made it look like red. So I would actually practice a lot of gratitude for what I currently have, because I have food, clothing, and shelter today. Even if I'm earning peanuts, My basics are met. I'm having food on my table. I have my health with me, right? I have some drinking water. I have a house to live, and I have a job. There are so many people who don't have jobs. So if I know, if I have to get to that place of abundance, I need to compare myself with different people first. Because you still don't have the attitude of gratitude, okay, start comparing it with people who are less than you. Start from there, because that is obviously not a great thing to start. But because the habit of independently doing gratitude has not developed, it's better you just start comparing it with somebody who don't have anything, and then think that, yes, I have, thank you God. If I did not have health, then definitely I wouldn't have been able to even think about going for a job. I would have been bedridden. So there are so many ways. I think even Magic Book has taught us a lot about gratitude. And it has taught us so much of gratitude that we actually did not even think in those kind of directions. So for this person, I would definitely say there is Magic Book recordings on the group. Start with gratitude. And from an acceptance and surrender point of view, whatever you have is to show you the perspective of, in case you have a perspective of I don't have, then how does the world look like to you? So now, if you change your attitude of saying, I already have, from that perspective, if you start looking at the world, then how will the world change for you? So it is more about what is going to be your attitude towards whatever you already have, that is going to make the world reflect that. It is always about self. There are no flaws in the universe. It is not, it is a foolproof system. But there is definitely flaws in the way we think. So what are we here to correct? We are here to correct only our perception, only the way we see things. Today we are looking at it with a red glass. We are learning how to remove the glass and just look at the world the way it is and change our thinking to positive. Correct? So we are only changing the way we think, and we are bringing in a lot of gratitude because it is working for us in magical ways. Correct? So that thing we'll have to bring in. Next one that I wanted to bring about was, we were talking a lot about chanting and all of that, right? So what does chanting do? It is, we need to understand the subtle aspects of chanting. Like, people keep asking me, why should I only chant Rama's name? Should I only chant Krishna's name? I like Shiva. It was never about liking Shiva, liking Rama, or Ho'oponopono, which really doesn't have any gods. No deity is also mentioned in that, right? It's about the energy that you start building into that sadhana. It is about that energy is the one that actually matters. And the kind of attitude you have towards that practice that you have actually matters. So somebody might be saying Rama, 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 or somebody might be saying Krishna, 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 Krishna. But actually, that won't really benefit you in any way unless those feelings come and all of that. Then when will those feelings come? Only when you stick with it for quite some time. See, it's like that energy has to build up your, which is what is called mantra siddhi. In the past, people used to say, oh, this, like Vishwamitra Rishi had developed the mantra siddhi of Gayatri mantra. So he is called the Rishi who basically has command over the Gayatri mantra. Like that, there are many, many Rishis who have command over. So how did they even just take something out of the ordinary from whatever they felt, and then how did they put energy to that? Where your focus goes, energy flows. Okay, that is the highest principle that you need to remember. Where your focus goes, energy flows. So now, if you take, let's say, a Rama mantra, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Now, you just start chanting. You might feel bored. You will feel sleepy. You will feel like, oh, something else is calling me. I need to finish this off very fast and run away. All of that will actually come because of the kind of tendencies and habits that we already have. But what are we here to develop? We are here to practice surrender. We are here to practice a discipline in our life. So to practice that discipline, you are here to give your full attention to something. You're here to give your full attention on a single pointed focus to one thing. And that one thing, let's say, is Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. That mantra. And there is a Rama, there is a Jai, there is a Shri, and all of these are root. They are Bij mantras. Many of these things are Bij mantras, which means they carry their own energy. The word itself carries their own energy because it is a combination of a lot of see, when we chant something, what happens? There are certain vibrations that happen within our body, and those vibrations, some of those vibrations are all very will take, if we continue to keep vibrating those points or those areas in our body and mind and all of that, it will actually take us towards higher consciousness. Similarly, this is what we'll have to think. Does the mantra invoke a higher sense of consciousness within us? Then keep chanting that. So the more what you're doing, you're actually putting more focus and energy on something, on let's say a car that is going to take me to a higher state of consciousness. And what will happen in a higher state of consciousness? You just have a better awareness towards the way life is going. Life is anyway going. Life is anyway happening. But what is the source of the problem? The problem is we don't know how to interpret those life's happenings. We don't like it. We have expectations. We have anxiety. We have fear, all of that. So that is the source of the problem. So that is a reason for the problem. So the whole reasons we are trying to eliminate, and that reasons will be eliminated only when we go to that higher state of consciousness, which connects or which has a package of higher state of awareness, which means the understanding capacity will be better. Correct? So when all of these mantras are chanted, you are taken to that higher place of consciousness. Now, today you do, tomorrow you don't do, day after tomorrow, little bit you did. So that doesn't work. And we all agree that we are busy. It's not like all of us are all the time free. But there has to be an intention of, I have to do it today, come what may. At least for 5 minutes, I have to do. And this 5 minutes, when you say, okay, every day I'm doing for 1 hour, but today I'm very busy, so I'll only do it for 5 minutes. So at least the intention should be to completely give your 100% to that, to doing your best. You came to 5 minutes because you let's say the bus came or something happened and relatives came off to the house. You tried your best. You did your best, and then you couldn't. You from your side, you have done everything possible to give your 100% to that commitment that you did. That is actually what is going to build that energy, including that intention. And every single day that you keep adding to that, that energy is going to build. It is like, imagine that there is a ground that is totally parched, like a barren land. There is no rains, there is nothing in that land. It is all cracked and all of that. Now, if that soil, if that land has to become fertile and it has to start becoming good for agricultural land or something, what should happen to that land? First, it has to become soft. The mud should be in a position where you can dig up and all of that. So initially you will start chanting, then slowly it is like as if rains have started coming on that land. And rains will come, and then later on some more sun is going to come, some more rain will come, some more sun will come. Then it is going to actually become slightly soft. Then when you plow that land, how are you going to plow that land? It is like there is no, it is fully packed. If you have to plow for the first time, you have to put a lot of force. So this is the kind of force that you have to put to sit in one place, to be able to say every single day I will do. That is the kind of discipline, that inner force, that inner pressure that you need to put for yourself to sit and do it. But once you've done the plowing, initially you pressed hard, you sat, you told your mind, you convinced your mind, all of that inner discipline that you build, that discipline building will take some time. You'll yawn, then you will be like, oh my God. Sometimes while chanting, you'll sleep off also, right? You don't know when you actually slept, and thankfully, if you have a counter, okay, that will maintain the counter. Otherwise, if you have mala, God knows that will slip away from your hand also. So lots of things will happen like this. But this is when you have to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, and then the land will be plowed. Now, once all of that marking and all has happened, then it's slightly easy to keep going. Then overall, then the land will become plowed, and then you will put seeds, and then the seeds will be watered, and then the plants will grow. So it takes so much of energy for a plant to actually sprout. And then that sprouted plant has to be covered, protected from wind and rains and all of that to some extent. Some shelter has to be built. Then after it becomes slightly like a shrub and a small plant, a decent sized plant, then there you no need for protection. It will go. It will take all of the, it will take wind, it will take harsh sunlight, it will take rains, it will take everything, wind, everything it will take. So until that stage comes, we are vulnerable. We have to keep going. We have to keep going. And this buildup of energy is going to show in all areas of your life. Because here you're building discipline, you're building that shraddha, you're building that commitment, you're building that surrender. Because whatever you do, it's not promising you anything. It's not saying, oh, tomorrow I'm going to give you some extra brownie points or something. You're going to get a cake. Nothing. It's not promising you anything. But you know that from inside, you know this is the right thing to do. I'll have to keep doing. And how long you have to keep going with that also, you're not having a timeline for that. So this is called that shraddha. That shraddha is coming, it comes only from the grace of God. That inner determination to just keep going, just keep going, even if there is no promises, even if there is nobody has guaranteed you anything. That shraddha is what is going to eventually build up and will translate into your removal of ignorance from your life. And if that kind of commitment, if that kind of surrender is not there towards anything, it's very difficult to keep going in this path called spirituality. Okay, so this is that mantra siddhi that I'm talking about. We have to just keep going. And this spiritual routine is more like an investment. I think I already told that in one of the classes. It's like an investment that you have to just keep going on a daily basis. Because tomorrow, after if you want some hard cash, hard money, some big money or something, you don't have that kind of cash at home. You should have invested in the past to get that kind of energy that you need. Let's say there is a huge trauma in your life. But to handle that huge trauma, you should have actually invested for that energy in the past. If you had invested in that energy in the past, then when this trauma hits you, you are in that state of awareness. You are in that state of stability. You are in that state of, equipoise to be able to handle that trauma in your life, the challenge that comes in your life. So any spiritual investment that we are doing today is for an ongoing purpose. It's not for many people. What they do is they keep doing all of these things, but then suddenly when some challenge hits, some health issue happens, they break down. It is not unnatural for somebody to break down. It is only, we have to only think that, oh, I broke down when everything was okay in my life. I was okay chanting, I was very happy, and I was thinking God is great, gratitude, all of that was working. But now when a challenge hit me, I have completely broken down. My gratitude is not working. My head is not working. Nothing is working. This should only show that I have still not done enough to be able to reap benefits during such traumas. Over time only I'll be able to get there. But now in such traumas, the only tool that I have is a chanting. Because chanting is one such tool where your mind doesn't have to work at all. Even to sit in meditation, we really have to have that stability of mind. Meditation also will not be able to. You can't sit because your mind is fully constantly thinking about that challenging situation that is sitting with you. So what is it that is going to constantly pick you up from that underground? It is that chanting, because you have at least done that work few days in past or whatever. Every day at least you're doing something. Even if you have not built up that energy, this will pick you up, because now instead of doing 10 minutes, you're ready to do for 1 hour. Correct? So when that situation demands, be willing to sit longer and do it. Or even if you're not able to sit, if you have to walk around because there is a challenging situation, walk around and still keep chanting. Put your mind in the chant. Put your mind. And who are we chanting for? Our entire intention and focus is for that Paramatma that is inside us, sitting in the deepest bottom of our heart. We are intending to connect to him. You're thinking about that portion of inside, that portion which is inside you, and then you are chanting. So here, whether you chant Rama, Krishna, Shiva, it really does not matter, because everything, whoever you pray to, you're praying to Ganesha during Ganesh Chaturthi, you're then doing Durga Puja during Durga Puja time, then you're doing Navratri, all the goddesses, some other puja comes, some other puja comes. In everything, it is important to always connect to the energy that is behind it, which is that Paramatma. There could be many different forms of this God, but there is only one God. And if your intention is to just connect to that, then everything problem solved. You're doing Ho'oponopono, connect to that. You're doing Shiva, connect to that. You're doing Rama, connect to that. But how much of energy you build with your inner strength to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on a daily basis, that is what actually matters, because it's the same God. Either you connect from east or west or north or south, he is only going to get connected to, no? So that is what is very important. And initially, I suggest it's best not to do mental chanting, because our mind is such a monkey that as you're doing mental chanting, suddenly at one point you will realize that you were currently thinking about your maid. Now you won't know when you stop chanting and when did the maid even come in between. Correct? Or suddenly you'll be thinking about food to cook for dinner. You won't know when you switched. We are not in control of our mind. Hence, always chant loudly. And also, I've noticed that when we chant initially in the mind, you'll feel like yawning, sleeping and all, because that when the higher energy starts to come within us, when the lower energies are leaving, the body will not be still in that condition to take in those higher energies, right? So the body will want to put you to sleep. And mind also thinks some of these things are boring because there is no meaning in it. You're focusing on something where there is no benefit. So the ego does not see value in keeping you alert. So you feel like sleeping. So all of these are initial hiccups to any spiritual path. Whether you're meditating, also same issues will come. Whether you're chanting, also same issues will come. Whether you are doing puja, also same issues will come. But we have to keep going, keep going, keep going. And for me, although meditation is there, for me, I think I am still not in a state where I can automatically switch to listening to God, right? I'm not in a position where I can sit and listen to God, which means my mind is completely blank. The world is not calling me. That kind of thing has never happened. So I personally think that I'm not in a stage, or I'm not in that level of sadhana where meditation comes naturally to me. I am in a state where I'm still yet to see God in me, yet to see God around me. I know technically, I know intellectually, God is within me, God is around me, in people around me, everything I know. But that feeling has still not come. So when the feeling has still not come, I still have to look for ways which only still works on my first few chakras. See, meditation happens from here. It is a natural thing. You don't have to sit for meditation and go to meditative state, right? We have to sit for, let's say, many times I've seen people sitting for 1 hour, and then after 1 hour or 15, 20 minutes or whatever period, then they go to some relaxed state, right? That relaxation is alpha, but we are actually thinking, we are looking at that theta and all of those kinds of states, right? But when will that come? Only when there is absolutely your lower chakras have completely been mastered. There is no fear. There is absolute humility. There is your life, your heart is full of gratitude. All of these things have to actually be cultivated first for you to go listen to God. Today, even if you pray, you're saying, thank you, God, thank you, God. That kind of at least should, every moment should be like, thank you, God, for this, thank you, God, for that. That overwhelming sense of gratitude should come first. Then you'll go to such states where you don't want anything from God. You don't even want to say thank you to God. You just know. You just know that everything is just happening and I'm just sitting. I'm just sitting in one place, just witnessing everything. If that state has not come, we just have to do many of these things parallelly. Okay, so that is the mantra thing. Next one is surrender, right? Benefits of surrender, in my opinion. So I sent a paragraph yesterday, right? So I was thinking, what is surrender? What is benefits of surrender? So why do we not surrender? Many times, like I said, all of these cages that we've built thinking that we are going further in some direction, trying to get whatever we want. We plan, we have got into a habit of planning what we want in our life and then trying to go implement the plan that we've already made. It's like we are constantly in that kind of mindset. But most often than not, we don't stop to look at, am I the one who planned? Who gave all of these ideas to me? Where did those ideas come from? If I've never done that kind of thing before, how did I even get that idea? So that we don't sit to contemplate. Then we don't think about, oh, how did I actually go to implement this plan? How did this auto come to me? How did this car come in front of me? How did this driver know that? How did I even think that I have to book Ola to go there? How did I know that I had to book this, to look at this route map? How did I even have enough money in my pocket? So there are so many things that are coming together so that you can actually implement that plan. So are you really implementing that plan? We are not thinking so much. So hence we think that we are controlling our life. And most often than not, whenever we are in that off state, let's say center, we are all balanced, equipoised and all that. But then when we are in that off state, we are sad, anxiety, all of that will come, right? Although we know we are jealous, although we know that all of these things are happening, we are still in that loop. Why that loop is continuing? We are not getting anything in return. We did that loop. Let's say that if we got the feelings of anxiety, we got the feelings of fear. Oh my God, if I go there, then maybe there are some antisocial elements who are going to hurt me. It's a fear. So that fear, did that fear translate into this getting you to a state where the fear will go away? No, we are still in the same fear. So why are we constantly investing in this whole egos thing, even though we are not getting anything in return? So that is something that we need to contemplate. Why should I actually keep going on that path where I'm not getting anything in return? I'm still staying in the same state. I'm still in the same anxiety. Yesterday also I had anxiety. Today also I have anxiety. Yesterday also I had the same fear. Today also I have the same fear. 5 years back also I had the same fear. When I was a child also I had the same fear. It is still continuing. I had self-esteem issues. Same thing is continuing. Now, how do I even get out of this? Who is the person who's going to get me out of this? We have to think some of these things. Then you'll start looking for some solution which is going to get you out. So this solution is surrender. And what does surrender mean? It means that you start believing somebody who has the power over everything. Now, let's say you have fear and you think that some rowdies are going to hurt you or something like that when you're walking alone on the road. Now, who is inside those rowdies? It's God Himself. So, who should you connect to? The same God who's inside you and inside them. What if that God inside you talks to inside the rowdies God? Right? That at that level, if you are able to think, then surrender comes very easily. God is in everybody. Let me talk directly to the God. Why do I have to go through the pujari kind of thing? Right? Talk directly to that God. Surrender to that God directly. So when you are in that state of surrender, then you are aligned to the universe, and then all the gods from everywhere, all the gods, the avatar of, or let's say the essence of God in everything will actually align with you, and it'll all work for you. So this is the benefit of surrender. And in my experience, whenever I have surrendered, even in the most difficult situation when I have surrendered, if I had not surrendered, then obviously I'll be still uncomfortable in that situation because it's a challenge. And I don't like challenges, right? Typically, who likes challenges? I mean, we are not comfortable in a difficult situation. So we are uncomfortable. So now what surrender does is it will take you to a comfortable zone even while handling a challenge. I think I've told this example before. Uh, when I first chopped my hands, okay, I was cutting a jackfruit and then my hands literally went into the knife, and then there was a deep cut here. And of course, at that time, I was in shock and the blood was oozing out and all of that. But there was no pain at all. Either way, all of that stitches and everything happened. But I was in a state of gratitude because I had killed a lot of cockroaches in my life. So after becoming vegan, I felt that I have killed a lot of cockroaches, but what can I do about it right now, kind of thing. I had that remorse feeling about, oh, I have killed so many. At that time, I didn't have that, oh, I'm not the doer. It just happened through me. I was not in that state. So I felt that, oh yeah, karma is getting back to me. And I was extremely grateful that in this life itself, it's getting over. Okay. Payback for the cockroach is now getting over. I got this deep wound and chuck, it is all equated, one and one, both are getting equated. And I'm very happy. I was actually very happy because let's say so many cockroaches, like thousands of cockroaches I've killed. And then those cockroaches, imagine if I had to go through 1,000 deaths, 1,000 horrific deaths. That is a horrible thing to think about, right? So instead, somebody just gives me a cut on the hand and say, okay, it is equal. It was my own imagination that it was equal. Okay, I felt it was equal and I was very happy. Oh yeah, great. Cockroaches equal to hand. Okay, fine. 3 months, I'll be done. That sense of gratitude, right or wrong, it was very, very overwhelming for me. And then, you know how beautifully that phase went. I absolutely did have one full hand, and I still packed dabbas every single day for my children because I had this great idea that I'll do every single day cooker recipes, one single pot. And those days, this Instapot and all was not there. So it was all cooker only. And my maid did not apply leave because I used to be so grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you for this, God. I used to be so grateful. My maid did not apply leave during that time, gave me extra comfort. And then she used to chop all these tomatoes and onions and this and that, all that small things she would chop and put it in a bowl and all and give me. And I would keep all of that bowl in the fridge. All that in the morning I had to do was put all the bowls together in the cooker, mix it, put salt, taste it, and then that's it. Cooker, it's done. Like pongal, bhat, pulao, those kinds of things. It became very easy for me to actually manage that whole month without any problem. See, wasn't I comfortable? Plus, my left hand became very strong. I've never used my left hand. Obviously, I'm a right-hander. My left hand became very strong. And then suddenly I used to get ideas to open the lids using my chin and then sit down, keep the dabba, rather hold the dabba with my legs and then try to open it with my chin and my hand. And so many beautiful ideas I got, I became very comfortable even in that state of problem. And then my clothes, I used to find my children to help me, my maid to help me, sometimes my in-law, my mother-in-law used to help me. So those things also happened. Somebody used to comb my hair. So didn't, even in that challenging situation where I had to manage with one hand, didn't help come. Wasn't I feeling comfortable? But I could have looked at, oh, gee, I don't have my hand. If I had only my hand, I could have worn this undergarments myself. I didn't have to ask somebody. I could have gone on that path. But because I was already in an overwhelming state of gratitude, all I could think of is gratitude. So, wow, they helped me. Wow, they did not apply leave. Wow, my children did this. Wow, my children. I was actually very comfortable. So, when you are in that state of gratitude and surrender towards God, you are made to feel comfortable even in that state, which is what we are trying to look for, right? We are trying to search for ways to be comfortable even in that challenging situation. So surrender helps you automatically get to that state of mind where you can be comfortable. Comfort is in our head, right? We say this is not comfortable, that is not comfortable, but it is in our mind. So the mind will get into that comfortable position, and then it'll also take you to that sense of joy, sense of that gratitude and all of that, where you want to share it with everybody. See how many years later I'm still sharing this experience, because it feels like wow to you and you want to keep talking about it, share it with others, teach them, make them do it. All of that feeling is always there. But then let's say you had some even if you had manifested something, you went behind something. Typically in a manifestation state, what happens, you'll get whatever you want to get, but that joy will be lasting for very, very short period of time, and then you'll talk about it and then you'll forget about it. Some other joy will take its place, and then you are now talking about some other joy. So even when you are depending on your ego, there is always a sense of lack, sense of sadness. Even if you get something, there is dissatisfaction. There is always that, and you don't want to talk about it all the time to anybody. You don't want to remember it all the time. But surrender and surrender related experiences will always keep you in a state of awe. I mean, I don't know how many surrender experiences I've had that I've actually lost track and lost count of how much it had. Only the bigger ones I remember, but most of the smaller ones I've shared in the groups. Whatever groups I've been in, I've shared in all the groups. Chuck, 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 I keep sharing. But then I may not remember because I used to track also in the book. I used to track initially, it used to happen in 2017, 18. I used to track in a Excel file, but over time I lost. It used to become so much that, okay, how can I keep track? I just left it. I just started enjoying it. So this is the thing about gratitude. See, one more example that I gave was, as parents, we all feel that our children should listen to us because we come from a place of experience. So we know we have burnt our hands in so many areas. We wish that they don't burn their hands there. We give them some advice. But then what happens typically, they'd listen, they don't listen. But if they listen to you and they follow it, that Shraddha is inside. They are having that thing to listen to you and follow it, even though they don't know that it is the right thing to do. Because my mother told it, because my father told it, I will do. If that kind of mentality is there in the child, how good you feel about it, right? You actually feel like going out of your way to help such children, to give them all the knowledge that you have in your kitty, to give to make them feel comfortable. All of that you will anyway do. Why? Because you feel that those children they deserve all of those kinds of things. But we as parents, we still come from a place of attachment. We feel that if they are happy, I am happy. Why are we happy? Because they are giving us all these comforts. Comfortable, like it's like a cakewalk being with such children, right? So we are feeling very comfortable. So that's why we want to, our way of showing gratitude is more about doing that kind of service. But God is much, 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 much better than us. Rather, I can't even say better. He's the ultimate. He comes from a place of unconditional love. He's doing all of this and much more, even though he doesn't have anything to get back in return. And all that he wants is your well being. So imagine how much better he can do. And every single time I have surrendered, I may have surrendered for 5 different outcomes, that I may have had in my head. Okay, these are the 5 outcomes. I'm mentally ready for all these 5 outcomes. But there could be n possible outcomes that I couldn't even have thought about because it was not in my intellectual ability to think about it. But such outcomes have also come. And then I was like, how did I even not think about this? That kind of thing will come in your head. It feels so simple. But how did I not think about this? So this is what God does. He makes you feel very comfortable. He makes you feel very grateful. He makes you feel that this is the best memory that you've ever had, best experience that you've ever had. You will not regret aligning with Him. All that you have to do is only start to practice this. Now, we also had one more question. Who is a guru? So this guru comes into our life also when we have learned the art of surrender. Today, we think that every person who's educating us, okay, who is a guru? A guru is the one who takes us from a path, from a place of ignorance to a place of light. Or he removes the ignorance from inside you. And what ignorance are we talking about? Not maths or science or social studies or something. We're talking about that true self, the true self. Since we are obviously not in our true self kind of state now, we have still that ignorance within us, which is why we are still suffering. So a guru is the one who takes us to a place where we are not suffering anymore. And that place is that our own self-realization. He's the one who takes us to that self-realization. They say that if God is in front of you and Guru is in front of you, then Guru is such a great person that you basically, before you even do pranams to God, you'll be doing pranams to your Guru. Because he's the one who took you to God in the first place, showed you the path to God in the first place, right? So that is the value of a Guru. And to a large extent, since we have not developed the art of surrender, we still don't have a guru in our lives. Because the guru comes only when you have developed that art of surrender. Or let's say, even if a physical guru comes in your life, unless you have developed that art of surrender, you will not be able to reap the benefits of a guru. He might be telling you 10 different things, but you will not understand anything because you have your own ego coming in the way. Why should I do this? He will tell you, come to our house at 4 o'clock, visit and do meditation or chanting or whatever. What will you say? Oh, no, 7 o'clock, my children have to go to school. I can't come. Or then, so this person or this guru is a person who you have handed over your life to, who you have handed over your complete mind to. It is like you're recruiting a guru, right? We we surrender to a guru when we look at his character, when we look at his attitude, when we look at his knowledge, when we look at his wisdom, and when we see that he has no attachment to the world. So when he is living a life that is like a self-realized person, obviously he is the one who can also show me a similar path. So he is a person who has already applied the knowledge that comes from the Vedas and the Shastras and all of that. He has already applied that. And he's the person who's going to be your example, who can show you that path. And this example will work, and it will only work for you if you are able to apply it, right? Just because he applied doesn't mean it is going to work for you. How will you apply? Only when you are actually showing that kind of dedication and that surrender to that guru. What does that surrender mean? It means that you say anything, I'm not going to question you, and I'm going to do it. Because I have already understood that you have walked that path, and you have understood every nuances that is going to come on that path, and you have reached there, and I know, come what may, you will take me there. So you tell me to do anything, I know that I'm actually going to be walking on that path. You are making me walk on that path, irrespective of whether I understand it or whether I don't understand it. My intellect and my buddhi is not going to be used to say, how will this work for me? Whether this is, I can't understand this. That kind of questions are not asked at all. Are you surrendered? Are you surrendered? Have you become the ideal disciple to deserve a guru? First is that question you have to ask. If you have not developed that kind of mindset yet, to be able to surrender your whole and soul to this physical person, then you have still not become a disciple. So who can, all of these people who are coming and giving you gyan, knowledge sharing sessions and all of these people, they are just knowledge providers. They are not gurus. Nobody is a guru. Physically, if everybody is still walking towards a path of enlightenment, we are not gurus of each other. We are just sharing knowledge from each other and seeing our own reflections in each other and learning from those reflections. We are still not gurus. A guru is a person who is on the other side, who has crossed, he has already gone to the light. He understands this place where there is a lot of confusion and ignorance and all that. He already knows. Obviously, he's not going to keep you here. Rather, if he's also here, I am also here, then who are we calling a guru? No, but there's no guru there. A guru is always the one who is on the other side. And who is inside the guru? Who is the one who comes through the guru? It is God himself. God himself is in the guru. And unless you are willing to surrender to that God, come what may, where you don't have any options left, right? You don't think that you have any options left. You just do what is told. Are you in that state? If you are not in that state, then you don't have a guru. People are still there in your life. Educators are still there in your life, but there is no guru because you have not become eligible to be a good shishya or a disciple. So that is very important. That mindset to receive knowledge and apply that knowledge with full conviction comes only when you have that kind of what you say, that role that you have given to that person is so sacrosanct, and that guru word is so loaded, it is so valuable that you actually cannot distribute that to every single person and just not listen to them. If you assign that responsibility to somebody, then you have done everything for them. You have dedicated your entire life for them, because now you know he's the one who's going to take you to that path, show you that path. He's going to show you how to apply those principles and then walk that life. Otherwise, don't distribute that word to everybody. If there are so many people who have a lot of knowledge on earth today, take the knowledge. You don't have to worship that person. Take the knowledge, respect that person, do all that you can, thank them for the knowledge, walk that path, but you still are not that person, even if he's great. Let's say BK Shivani, or not BK Shivani, let me not even go there, they're allowed to, I don't even know them so well. So let's say I have some teacher in my own life, but then am I so dedicated that when they call me to their house for some bhajans or something, I'm going to their house? Won't I prioritize my own life yet? My own family? I'm still not there yet. I'm still not even a great disciple. So if I can't even listen to one without questioning, I'm not even there yet. If you've seen many of these books like Living with a Himalayan Master, or even Autobiography of a Yogi, or even take Vivekananda for that matter. If you look at all their lives, if you should see the relationship between Yukteswar Giriji and Paramahamsa Yogananda ji. It is very different. Or Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. It is different. Why did they all get to that enlightened stage? Because they had that inner conviction to just keep walking that path. And before they even walked that path, they were able to analyze and put that faith, surrender themselves, surrender their heart and soul to somebody else. And once it was given, they did not think about themselves. They just followed what was told. We are not there yet. So we don't have a guru in our lives. Now, so then who is the guru that we have? It is God himself. How is he coming? Through our awareness. He's coming in many, many different forms, because we are not still a person who is ready to sacrifice ourselves to one single form. So sometimes we are very fickle. Sometimes we hold on to this. Sometimes we'll hold on to that. Sometimes we'll hold on. So God is very clever. So what he does, he brings that knowledge through multiple different ways through our experiences. So knowledge is anyway coming. And then we have to now become convict. If some benefit has to come to us, we'll have to learn the art of surrender. If healing has to happen to you, you have to learn the art of surrender. For example, when I'm working with people, the very first thing I tell them is, they tell me, should I send my reports? Should I do this? I tell, don't send me anything. You just have to come with a mindset of completely believing, trusting what I have to say. No questions asked. You can ask questions. I will give a clarification, but you will still have to do whatever I tell you. If you are ready for that extent, then you will heal. You will heal. It's not like I'm healing you. You healed yourself because of the conviction and surrender you had within you. If you are not ready to follow what guidance is coming through Smita, Smita is just a person through which God is talking. If you are not ready to follow what is coming through her, and you have your own likes and dislikes, someday I will do this, someday I will not do this. Oh, someday I went somewhere, now I will not do. When that kind of thing is there, then that much only you will get. Because you still have that, you still haven't ripened to the level of becoming a disciple. So that guru-shishya relationship is the relationship of surrender. The guru can be anything. God comes to you in any form. But you, it depends, the benefit comes to the degree that you are willing to surrender to that guru. And that also comes over a period of time. And the same God only helps you to develop that art of surrender. That it is called Shraddha. Shraddha means, the way I've learned from my teachers is, most of us who are walking the path of satsang, who are into all of these spiritual stuff and all of that, we have some amount of discipline or some amount of Shraddha. I don't know what is faith. I can't even call faith. Shraddha is a Sanskrit word, and I don't think it has an equivalent English word. So that Shraddha, that discipline or whatever you want to call it, we have enough to be able to respect elders, to maybe speak politely to people, or if there is a Mahatma who's very elderly, who is a very big jnani and all of that, we go and then maybe touch their feet. So we do many things, but that is coming because of our own samskaras that we have done in the past. The attitude, the what do you say, the quality of our own conscience that I have. So those are basics. Let's say the level of positive qualities that we have developed in our life, that will naturally give those kind of things. But then extraordinary is what we are kind of looking at. That extraordinary, to go to that extraordinary and become extraordinary. Not every single person goes through enlightenment, right? Have you seen everybody go through enlightenment? Well, very hardly here and there some people go. Why is that extraordinary thing happening? It is because they have developed extraordinary qualities. And how will that come? Only when you are willing to put yourself in that shoes of the extraordinary person, by going out of your way and then practicing some of these skills called surrender. Unless you're willing to practice that, you won't obviously believe anybody, right? Why will you believe Smita, whatever she's telling? Why will you believe, let's say, going on a plant-based journey? Oh, this is what I have to do. Right or wrong, that is not at all the question. Everything is, there is nothing wrong in the universe. But the mentality that we are trying to cultivate through plant-based journey, or through a class, or coming to the satsang every single time. Today I'll attend, tomorrow I'll not attend, or today it's boring, tomorrow I'll see. That kind of lax attitude that we have, right, will not make us extraordinary, will keep us ordinary only. So that extraordinary comes from wanting to be extraordinary. If you're pushing yourself to be wanting to be extraordinary, God will give you a lot of options, opportunities to practice that extraordinary skill. It is a skill that has to be mastered, and that will come only when you are pushing yourself. Intention should be very strong, right? That inner fire to actually do that should be very strong. Rest, God will take care. And when He brings you opportunities, put that into practice. Slowly, 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 you will actually develop that skill. So, this is what a guru shishya relationship is. And you cannot, um, what do you say, just distribute it to people who are currently living on earth. They are all very good. They may all give you the same soul related knowledge and all of that. But if they are also still walking the path of ego and still seeing, you see ego in them also. Rather, when you look at your own reflection, do you see God? That is the question. Or do you see they are a person who is different inside, they are a person who is different outside? That and all is it's not a very transparent relationship. So a person who's that kind, who takes that role, he's inside also same, outside also same. So as of now, the one who's our guru is our own awareness. The knowledge, our experiences are coming to us through that guru, which is God Himself. And then the awareness that we have inside is the guiding path, which is saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. That itself is our guru. And so this kind of guru, inner guru, like your awareness, your experiences, all of that is going to take you to a place where you will learn the exceptional art of surrender. And then maybe a physical person also will come to teach you to actually go on that extraordinary path. Right? So this is my understanding and something that my own Bhagavad Gita teachers have also taught. Because when we say, oh God, you are our guru and all that, they stop us right there. They have, I mean, even though I have transformed myself because of Bhagavad Gita for the last few years, they don't allow me to call them my guru. Because they say a guru is one who has taken over your life. Do I know anything about you? Do you know anything about me? No, you don't know. You hardly even come to me. We are not even meeting. So that relationship is not established. Just because knowledge is coming doesn't mean that they are your guru. Guru is like a parent, is like a father, mother. He knows in and out about you. And he has taken the responsibility, or you have given the responsibility for you to be taken on any path so that the truth is revealed to you. So I don't know, you'll have to think about some of these definitions, some of these things. Is there a guru in your life? Are you ready? Are you the eligible disciple? So that is why they say, right, when the student is ready, the master will appear. As of now, you have invisible masters in your life. A visible master is going to come on your path only when you are ready. And you have to become eligible for that. You have to make yourself eligible. You have to become deserving to deserve. Otherwise, he will come into your life and you'll say, sorry, I can't meet you today. You see, I have some ego-related job. I have my children's parents-teacher meeting. These things will not work because anybody who's willing to take you on that path to self-realization is your guru. And you have just lost interest in actually rather fulfilling the desires of your ego. Because if somebody is also keeping your ego comfortable and also saying that, Kash, come, I'll show you self-realization, is not a guru, is not a master. He has to break your ego, make you feel bad. You should know that this is not my place. If you're feeling bad and all of those things, that means you still haven't earned a guru. You haven't even become eligible for a guru yet. And the person who you claim to be your guru is not your guru, is just a knowledge provider. Just because they are your friends and then you go to their house, meet them often, doesn't mean they're your guru. Guru is a very loaded word. You need to see, am I even giving that position to somebody in my life as of now? Am I ready for that kind of person in my life now? oh, please don't come to our house. Okay, my husband doesn't like it. He doesn't like people like saints and all coming to our house, or maybe such people coming to our house. I don't think we can have satsangs in our house. We have preferences as of now. We have likes and dislikes. We have expectations that people should behave in a certain way. With all this kind of baggage that we have, how can we even surrender to another human being? We can't even surrender to the God within us. How can we even surrender to another human being? We are not ready. So we need to first learn to surrender to the God that is totally controlling our life yet. Then we will learn to depend on a human being who's not in our control and who's willing to, and we are willing to be comfortable without having that control, because we have practiced to be comfortable even though somebody else inside us is controlling. Then we'll be able to actually, it'll become very seamless for us to then depend on another human being who's taking us on that path. Because unless you are fully doing what he says, there is no surrender. No questions asked. See, in the past, in the Guru Shishya, in the Gurukula system and all that, they would say somebody would wash the Guru's dress, they would press his feet, they would wash the clothes, they would go fetch water from the well. Those kinds of menial labors only they used to be doing. And people would think, how can I actually keep doing such work and then go to the path of enlightenment? No, all of that work was only teaching you to drop your ego. That ego should actually melt, and it should be ready to do anything. Whatever that Guru says, you should be ready to do. Are we ready to do? So unless we are there yet, they will not appear, because we are not ready for them. We are not ready for another human being to control our lives. Today, if such a person comes into your life, you will actually blame them and say, oh, he's like this, he's like this. I thought he is a person who was like this, but he turned out to be like this. We label them also. If God also comes into your life, you will label them also. Right? We are all in that status where we are so maligned inside because of ego, that ego is our God as of now. And ego can make us do anything. So we are learning to let go of that control that we have from, rather we are being controlled by our own mind, which is not in our control. So we have to learn to teach that ego to depend on the God that is within, by believing that he is a supreme person. He has the network of all the human beings with him. He has all the money power with him. He's a very powerful person. At least let us believe him. Then he can protect me. With that kind of mindset, we are going to God. Tomorrow we learn to love him also, be devoted to him also, because we are now learning to constantly be associated with him. So any person, including God, today you say, I like Shiva, but then if Shiva also comes into your life and then he starts dictating, oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't listen to your children, be detached to your children, all that, even he comes and gives you all this gyan, he will say, oh, I thought Shiva is going to protect me from all these things, make me comfortable, but actually he's also giving me all this gyan. I already know all this gyan. It is already there in the books. Why should Shiva come and tell me? So you are not, if you're not ready for application of knowledge, God also will not come in front of you. That is why God is invisible, because he just wants to play safe in the invisible realm itself. If he was in the visible realm, he will also become another normal person in our life. So, okay, we are in that level where we still don't deserve any such great characters in our life. That is why we are being controlled from the invisible realm, which is our own God that is inside us and all. Okay, any doubts so far? I think I've covered everything that I wanted to share today. Oh, let me unmute. Yes, any questions?
Yeah,
Yeah, Smita.
Pooja here.
Yes. Gallery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's speaking?
Yeah, Smita Pooja.
Pooja, tell Pooja.
Yeah, Smita, as you said that Guru should be like, we should be like ki total surrender to Guru. Whatever he asks, we should not question them and allow our life to be in his hand. But as we see in today's scenario, there are so many gurus emerges. that asks the things to be done by us that our consciousness is not allowing us. So how can we deal ki how can we say that we should give all the things, like today we have seen so many gurus like Asaram and all that that ask us to do the things that our consciousness is not saying ki that is the right thing to do. So
Then that means you still haven't selected a person in your life. You are still evaluating. Because abhi bhi that conflict hai na. You still have a conflict. You don't agree with that person completely.
तो स्मिता agree completely means sometimes say na like guru has brainwashed your head, now you are completely like the hypnotized, he has hypnotized you, and he whatever he is asking you are doing everything willingly without
See,
thinking that he
people
is.
See, people know in the want of search of somebody, they go and then put themselves into anybody's lap. But I'm not saying that today or tomorrow they will succeed in reaching the right person, because that is what they want. They want somebody who can guide them and all of that. They will go succeed today or this life or some other life. They will succeed. But what we are actually talking about, that inner feeling where you know that he is the right person for you. And even though we feel that, oh, he's making me do all of this, he's brainwashing us, that is what is the experience that that disciple wants, which is why it has come in front of them. Today, if they understand what does not work for them, they will truly understand what works for them in future. It's an experience. It's a way of learning to recognize somebody who is for them. See, in my life today, the only guru that I've had since this path is the knowledge that is coming from inside me. And I have not resonated to anybody who who is who is like great in the world as of now. I have listened to them, I've taken their teachings, but that I've never seen them as a guru. I've only seen them as great people who have given me knowledge to continue to keep walking on this path.
So Smita, when a wrong person came in our life as a
There
guru,
is no
it
wrong person. There is only a person who will show you your place or your cages.
yeah, that it means if I am getting the bad experience from them, it means still I have lot of work to do on the surrenderance and acceptance, because I have not surrendered to that supreme God. That's why we are getting these types of
Yeah,
experiences. And if we are ready to surrender our supreme God and to our own self only, then the time will come that the person with whom we can resonate will automatically come in our life.
correct. See, when you are constantly surrendering to the God that is within you, then that reflection will also show in the person who is coming in front of you. It is going to be the same God. Unka level he it will be. Because that inside you have surrendered to that God so much, and you've practiced so much, that that reflection will start developing in the person who's coming in front of you, and you'll immediately click with that person. And there is no logic, because a person who's still thinking about, oh, I think he's my guru because then he's, or if let's say guru says something and they're asking for logic, why should I do this? Then guru should not provide proof to that person. If somebody is asking for proof to believe, then that is not guru shishya relationship. And such a guru is not, should not even say that I'm your guru.
Yeah, Smita, I have read in the autobiography of Yogi also that the Paramhans Yogi, he was searching for the guru, but one day when the guru comes, he automatically get there. He don't know even कि उसका guru वहाँ है या, but intuitionally he get the
Hmm.
idea and he was automatically attracted towards his guru.
Correct. So it's a inner inner connection that we have to think about. There is no questions asked. Whatever they say, you'll be willing to do, because there is one inner divinity that has actually come, where you feel like just doing. You feel like just doing because they told something. It is not because they are having this character, or they are like this, they are like that. There is something in them that makes you want to do it. There is no logic coming into your, which means that buddhi has actually gone off somewhere. You're just doing like a robot. The mind is not thinking, the ego is not coming in the way, the intellect is not coming and saying, are you doing the right thing? No, nothing is coming. You're just doing. That kind of thing will happen at a very rare level. And for that, God to come in front of you, and the pure God to come in front of you, and the purity in that person is only to the extent of taking you towards your self-realization. It's that last part of the ego that has to be broken. It is that individuality that you have, that I am Smita or something like that. That will be broken by the Guru. And that will happen only when you are pure inside. Because we are always seeing reflections of us, no? So that ultimate thing, that the ultimate cage, when it has to break, the trigger that comes in front of us is the Guru.
Sometimes Smita, it's also done like you said ki for the sadhana you have to be really disciplined, and there should be some internal force inside you that I have to do it anyhow, any cost. Sometimes it happens ki we are so dedicated and we have done the resolution ki no, I have to do, and I have to sit for 1 hour to do my sadhana and all that. But sometimes a situation came like the child fall down or something, and we are still in our sadhana. Then out forces like our family members, and they said ki she is busy in doing sadhana. What is the sort of sadhana is she is not
This,
willing to
see, this
willing.
is where we have to understand what is our dharma,
Okay.
right? And that will come only when we get that kind of, when we, yes, sadhana is okay, but you can only do as much to understand what is your right thing. Today, you are living in a family. So your family are your teachers. Your family is your first, rather, what you learn from them is your first dharma. And being there as a mother in your role, are you there like a god for that child? Is your mother, rather seeing God, God fell down. God in that child fell down. So you should be able to go and pick up that child. You can do sadhana tomorrow also. You can do sadhana maybe in the night, some extra you can do. But being there for that child now is far more important. See, being a human being first is far more important than going to attain self-realization. Self-realization does not have a timeline. But being puja, a good human being today, is your first requirement. It's okay. If you have to go save somebody, 1 day of sadhana is gone, it's okay. See God in that only. See, what is sadhana? Connecting to God. Because I'm probably not able to connect to God in my day-to-day activities, I want to sit and do and connect to God. But then what if I make up that mindset to be able to connect to God in everything that I'm doing? Maybe when I'm picking up the child also, I'm seeing God. And see, there is always that Paramatma inside. No, when you're sitting and chanting, if you're able to connect to that Paramatma, you're just intentionally saying, thank you, or whatever, that, let's say, chanting for that Paramatma. Then when you're talking to him also, mentally think about the one that is inside him. Then also sadhana happened, no? The whole point is to be anchored to that God all the time. That is sadhana. Where your mind is connected to that God versus mind is connected to something else in the sansar. So there is nothing that is not meditation. There is nothing that is not sadhana. You make your sadhana. You define your sadhana. If you say, yeah, when I'm every day I'm going to plow the land, that is sadhana for me, means yeah, that is how you're connecting to God. Yeah, that is how you're connecting to God. There is no hard and fast rules that it has to be like this only. You are the master of your own reality. You say, I will do only once today. Yeah, once was good enough. Tomorrow I'll do 2 times. Tomorrow is good enough. It's like you should just be, see, there is Bashar brings about this concept called five uh, um, high high life, living a high life. High means HIGH. H for honesty, I for integrity, G for gratitude, and H for humility. Unless you're very honest about yourself, you honest about your own imperfections and perfections and whatever you have, you're honestly able to introspect yourself and accept yourself honestly, like there is no dual personalities, then that integrity will not come. Integrity means bahar kuch aur andar kuch aur. You're something outside, you're something inside. When people see you, they see you, oh, sometimes she did like this, sometimes she's doing like this. That is not integrity. Integrity means you're transparent. You are standing for whatever cause. You are just working for that cause only. It's like, if you say that I'm truthful, you're truthful inside, you're truthful outside. It's like you're like a glass, you're like a shisha. To yourself only, you're like a shisha. You're not trying to make appearances. That is integrity. And you will stick to your commitments. Karungi, you will say I will do, but you actually don't do. Again, there is a conflict. No, so there are no conflicts when you're in walking the path of integrity. There are no conflicts. And third one is gratitude. Gratitude is an attitude. It is not because, oh, I've got these materials in my life, thank you. No, it is coming whether you are grateful, whether you have it or whether you don't have it. You're grateful just like that. You're grateful in general, you're grateful. You have that feeling of gratitude. You have an appreciative feeling for everything. And seva also comes along with this. In this, seva comes when you're able to do some of these things. So when you're very grateful and all that, then you're willing to also be able to stand. So for example, when in the context of a guru, if you're doing some seva for a guru, then when guru does not appreciate you, when somebody criticizes you, when they don't recognize the work or seva that you did, and somebody else takes the credit for it, all of these things, if it happens, are you still willing to do it with the same attitude of seva, or you're actually feeling bad that you were not recognized? All of this. So the seva also comes very naturally when you are very integrate, walking the path of integrity, being very honest and transparent about who you are. Then gratitude will come. Then when gratitude comes, you will walk the path of humility. You will be very humble in your life. You will not be, for example, let's say as a teacher, am I having the humility or am I asking for something? So that is also, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm just saying who has the most highest amount of humility? Hanumanji. There is a story which says that Valmiki meets Hanuman and then he'll see him writing a book or something. He'll be writing something. Then he'll ask, what are you writing? Then typically Ramayana was written even before Ramayana happened. So even by Valmiki. So when Hanuman wrote that Ramayana, apparently it was very good. Then Valmiki says, oh my God, I thought that my life purpose was to write Ramayana or something. They have that conversation. And then he'll say, oh yeah, correct, right? You're actually contributing this to the world. He immediately tears. Hanumanji immediately tears. Oh, don't worry. I just wrote this Ramayana just for expressing my own love that I had in my heart for Ramji. It was not for the world or anything. It was apparently even better than what Valmiki wrote. And it was a masterpiece. But he tore that. See, that is the kind of humility. He doesn't care whether somebody appreciates him, doesn't appreciate him. It's like humility means you're just there. You're just there to share something without expecting anything back. You know that the universe will provide people to listen to you. Whatever has to happen will come, and then connections will be coming like this. You are not saying, oh, I have this knowledge, come and listen to me. It's not about that. You're not seeking attention. You're not seeking, there is no lack mentality. When there's lack mentality, you're seeking, come. But then when that lack mentality is not there, then the humility also will humility, abundance, gratitude, all of these things go hand in hand. So these qualities, when we develop, automatically enlightenment is guaranteed. Correct? So these are the qualities that we need to develop. We need to cultivate some of these things. And then how will we cultivate? And without surrender, we can't. Without acceptance, we can't get into that state of what is that first one? Honesty. We can't get into honesty at all without accepting who we are, because we are trying to constantly avoid that part of us. So if we are cultivating that honesty, then that integrity will automatically come, because you're just walking that path of God. I'm doing it for the love of God. I'm doing it because he likes it. He wishes that this happens, so it has happened. Right? We are thinking like that. So we become very transparent, very simple, very plain. No attention seeking, nothing. It's just, you're a normal person. You're just a woodcutter leading a normal life. Life becomes very light. So when we are developing some of these qualities, no, life will automatically become light. Hence, acceptance is first. And acceptance, then surrender. Accept, know, understand what you have to understand, then surrender it to God so that He will come and break. Like yesterday, I was telling, no, imagine that all your cages are like, you have built a cage with a belief system, and there is one energy, negative energy that is trapped inside you, and it is giving you pain, suffering, um, some pain here, some pain there, anxiety, all that it is giving. Why? Because it is trapped. It is struggling to break free and go and reach the God Himself. Right? You're not allowing it to break free. So when you come to the place of acceptance, you're accepting that such an energy is inside me and it wants to get released. And the process of that is acceptance, that I have it with me. It's not like somebody else made me feel bad. I already had a nature of feeling bad. That's why I'm feeling bad. So that acceptance came, no, then there is no blame game. So that acceptance is like a permission slip to open the cage a little. So once you give that permission slip, God will take that permission slip and then He'll start to break the cage a little. And then when the cage is slightly broken, imagine that one chariot is coming, one golden chariot is coming. And then a part of that energy that was released is now taken to liberation, which means you have partly got liberated. To become 100% liberated, to get 100% moksha, we need to get 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% mokshas. Correct? No. So, and how will that happen? Only when little bit of your separation gets moksha, then little bit of your separation gets moksha, little bit of your separation gets moksha. Like that, you are giving a permission to God to be liberated. And when golden chariot is coming and taking a part of you that was locked up and it was suffering, and then you just express gratitude to whatever that taught you and say bye, and then wish it well, and then it'll go. It went in installments. Only 1% of that has gone. Now again some more trigger is going to come. Again you have to be willing to look at your cage, and again you should be willing to give the permission slip. Again God is there only. He's waiting for your permission slip. And then He's going to break the cage. And He's going to take a part of you, and then that part is going to be liberated. Like that, one day 100% of you will be liberated. This is what is currently happening in all of us. We are getting liberated in installments. There is no 100% there is no 100% liberation unless you are willing to be liberated every single moment, in every single one of your triggers. Correct? We are making a habit only, no? So we are actually practicing the habit of self-realization. Right? Okay. Yeah, Vaishali, sorry. What was your question?
Yeah, Smita, actually, that question I had written regarding my PhD, and like I
You
was
had written.
not able.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. So I understood what perspective you tried to show, that I may not be in a place of gratitude and all, and I accept that. Yes, I was never in a place of gratitude, and whatever I have. My question is like, can we look at it as a part of karma also? Because it's I see. I'm using the word deserving because it was all there, but still I didn't get it. So
See, what you have already got, is something that you have deserved. What you don't have today, it's because it's your own soul's wish that you not have it. Because you still don't have the attitude of gratitude to actually acknowledge that. And unless you develop that practice of acknowledging what you already have, how will you get to a place of acknowledgement? Which is what we discussed right now, right? That state of liberation. How can I even know that we are liberated? How can we get to that state of self-realization unless we are not practicing that self-realization every single minute of our life? And we have the tools. People have come into our lives to actually help us self-realize, but we are not willing to go there, no. So now we are getting the knowledge to actually recognize that, hey, every single thing in our life is designed so that we self-realize. And we are practicing that through acceptance and surrender. And gratitude is very important, because unless we develop that gratitude, how will you even know that you're comfortable in your life, and who made you comfortable? You didn't suddenly, let's say you have a good husband and then you have some amount of facilities in your life. You might say, I worked for it. That is not entirely true. If you had worked for it, you could have worked for the other things that you don't have also today. Karma is actually not a tool for punishment. It's just a tracking tool. It's a tracking tool to say, what is it that you have to, what is it in your psyche that is still limited, has limited feelings, and what is in your psyche that has abundance feelings. Whatever is feels limited, you still feel that there is not enough God connection inside you, which is why you feel lack. And if all of that has to go, there is a tool that has to track it. You have only designed this life to be like this. You means in a higher consciousness. Before you took this body, you have designed and planned your life to be exactly the way it is running today. And all the experiences that come to you is exactly designed the way it is. Plus, why is knowledge coming to you? Without that knowledge, how will you practice what you did not know? Now that knowledge is coming to you, now you'll be developing those skills and the life will actually take a better turn. So this is also the energy building that we are actually talking about. Unless we build that energy, gratitude is also a very high frequency tool. It's a high frequency emotion. And if we constantly are working in lower frequency emotions, then we'll have lower frequency experiences coming to teach us that this is what you have. You have a lower frequency experience inside you. You have a lower frequency experience. Triggers are showing us what? They are just helping us discover who we are. They are not going to make us who we are not. They're not going to show us something who we are not. And when we are talking about, when we see others, and who are these others? They are also a reflection. And we are also learning from them. When we see that they have something that we are not, it only means that we have to see we are supposed to see the lack mentality within us. But instead, if you can develop, wow, people, I really wish good for them. I wish I bless them, whatever something good for them. If you're able to see positives and wish positively for them, if you can get to that place of genuineness to wish positively for somebody, then it also manifests into your life, because now you are getting into an appreciative nature. And when you give appreciation, you will also you'll have a life where you'll be able to appreciate your own life also. It's like what you give is what you get.
Yeah.
And
So I was
practicing consciously all of these things really helps. And you can do that magic recordings also in parallel if you have time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, there also in Magic Book series, there are homeworks where Rhonda takes our attention to small things in our life. From first chapter, she has some, let's say she says, write 10 gratitudes. Second chapter, by the time end of that second chapter, she'll say, write 20 gratitudes, which means we are doing the homework of first chapter and second chapter. In third chapter, that 10 gratitude will become 30. By the end of 27 chapter, you are actually writing 270 gratitude, if you can do that. By the time so every day, if you're investing in 10, let's say 10% of energy, or let's say 1% of energy. And then by the time you did 20, you actually added the energy on top of what you did yesterday. So you're building energy. Once you're building energy, you are actually raising your own vibrations. So which means you're operating at a higher frequency. You're slowly beginning to operate in higher frequencies, which means the awareness and understanding of life in general is higher. So we need which is why we have to constantly keep doing something or the other, spiritual routines and other things we have to keep doing to keep ourselves in a place where we can see life with a better view. Instead of being in underground and saying what is happening in the surface, why not be in the surface and see what's happening in the surface?
Yeah. Because I was always in guilt that I didn't do this, I didn't take efforts, I didn't do this, and then I blame my karma. But now I understand that this was supposed to happen, which is planned by me,
Yeah.
my higher.
And see, guilt, when we say guilt, right? I did something, rather, I did not do something in the past. But at that time, when you did not do for a certain reason. You had the right reasons to why you did not do it. So how can you stand in today's place and judge what you did not do then? You can't. Then also you did the right thing. Now also you did the right thing. So every time you're doing only the right things, but from a different point of view. So you can't judge your past at all. So there is no guilt. So you can't judge your future because it has not happened. All that you can do is only live the present. Yeah. See if you can practice some of these things and it will definitely help. You see all of these videos from the first chapter, from this first class, where I'll be able to, I've explained what is how the triggers come to us, what should we see within us and all of that. It will also help. And
Yes,
daily
exactly.
have some routine where you practice gratitude, where you practice chanting on a daily basis. It really helps to build that energy.
Yeah, one small question, Smita, if I can ask.
Mhm.
Today, while talking, you said that you surrender. Like you had fear for many suppose childhood. Now you have a particular fear, and which did not help. So to overcome that fear, you surrender. Surrender in the sense, do what? Like accept that.
You see some, have you seen all the class videos?
I have seen 3 of them, not all.
Okay. So surrender means it's like you know what is your duty today. Let's say a child who's writing an exam, he has to write an exam. All he can do is focus on studying today and give the best to that focus, give the best as a student. And then he should be able to say, I'm okay, mentally ready for any outcome. Because now that the outcomes are not in his hands, he can fail, he can pass, he might get 100%, he might get 90%, he might get 60%. Or maybe his paper might be lost. Or the person who looked at his paper had a soda glass or something like that, and he couldn't see the paper properly. He couldn't see the answers, maybe because this guy's handwriting was not very good or whatever. There could be n possibilities. But all you're saying is, I am mentally ready for all the n possibilities. Let anything come, every one of those outcomes is coming because it is best for me. And God knows the best. And it is coming, and I'm ready for it. And you actually genuinely have to go to that state of surrender, or surrender means you're surrendering to the God who already controls your life. You're not just giving up. Surrender is not giving up control. You're actually giving, you're already surrendering to the control that is already built within you, which is God within you. He's the one who's running you. You're just a car. He's the one who's driving you. So when you get to that understanding that anything that comes from me is anyway going to be good, so why do I have to bother? There is no good and bad anyway. So when that mentality is developed, no, so then you're okay with any kind of thing. That is surrender. And then usually the best things happen when you do that. Best outcomes come. And even if what you don't prefer also comes, you will somehow be in a better mentality. That promise is anyway there. That I can only guarantee, because I've come from a place of experience. Yeah. Okay. Sindhu.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Sindhu.
Yeah, hi ma'am. So my question is, sometimes I have this nature where I tend to put people on authoritative. I tend to consider people as an authoritative figure, maybe at home or at office, and then I kind of go an extra mile to keep my relationship with them in the good books. So I'm not very happy with this kind of a nature because it's again creating a lot of confusion for me. I'm unnecessarily putting someone on pedestal, and then I'm trying to do all things that will keep my relationship with them happy.
See,
So yeah.
see, mostly it comes when if such a thing comes very natural to you, obviously you have practiced this a lot and you have built a cage. That
Yeah.
I need the protection of somebody who is maybe far more better. Maybe in the
Mm.
past, let's say you are an abla nari and you want a bodyguard kind of husband or some that, let's say that is a situation in the past. And then
Mm-hmm.
over a period of time, there is no abla nari and one bodyguard kind of husband. It is more about,
Mm.
let's say, a person who has knowledge all the time. I'm connected to somebody who's connected to knowledge all the time, and I can ask whatever I want with them. So many, so it's a protective mechanism because
Okay.
I feel I'm not enough. Because why do
Okay.
I feel I'm not enough? Because if there is a tiger that comes and attacks me, I don't have the strength to protect myself, to keep myself alive. That is the kind of understanding. So when
Okay.
every outcome that comes to you is anyway good, why shouldn't, unless you learn to face your fears and say, it's
Mm.
okay, with or without him anyway, what ultimately can happen? Yeah, death.
Mm.
Or maybe suffering few days. And it's not like tragic experience or something. We learn from the process. So
Yeah.
you have to face the experience. See, why do people lie? People lie because they don't like to face that experience, that outcome
Okay.
that they dislike. And this is also like that only. You have a
Okay.
protective mechanism. But then any human being is only a reflection. How can he protect you?
Yeah.
Right? He's always
And all are
here.
equal, right? Like all of us are equal.
Yeah, all of us
There's
are
like
equal.
even our parents or anybody.
Everybody is equal. We are all running our own journeys only, no? And you
Mm.
are only seeing your own triggers, that's all. You are never seeing who they truly are.
Mm.
You cannot see that
Okay.
unless you
Yeah.
are like some realized master and who can actually see different people and their own different realities. You can see their own parallel realities. You see their past, present, future, everything. You can't get to that state at all unless you are in that state.
Okay.
So as of now, you see only yourself. Your
Okay.
um,
Oh,
your
and
need to
so
only.
when it comes to my, I got it, ma'am. When it comes to my parents, like sometimes, what is respect? Like it's okay to disagree also, right? When you respect someone.
See, respect is something that you give like a human being. You respect even a child. Respect
Mm.
is more about what do you say, giving that due basic cordial relationships that you have with that child. You are not fighting, arguing, becoming like an animal. So respect is, you do what you can say, whatever you want to say, I will say whatever I want to say, but I will do whatever I want to do, you will do whatever you want to do, you will. So it's more of that kind, live and let live kind of thing. But we still give respect for their existence, for their
Okay.
behavior. We accept them the way they are.
Okay.
There is nothing like you're fighting with them. See, fighting and all, we'll anyway have to overcome over a period of time, because
Yeah.
who are you fighting with? And when we are constantly only focusing on what is a trigger, what are they trying to teach me, then you'll
Mm.
forget about many of these ego related stuff that we keep doing on a general basis.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
slightly difficult, but then we have to practice this part. We have to practice a lot more to overcome that part.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
So if you have to stand independent and protect your own body and your own mind, you have to
Mm.
be that soul which can be there for your body and mind. Because now the body and mind feels that somebody else is there. There is no soul. There is no father figure inside me. There is no God inside me.
Okay.
Right? That true surrender, that true feeling that I am with somebody has to come.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Neha.
Hi, Smita. So I don't
Um,
have a question, but for the long I've been wanting to share this related the whole talk we had about Guru today. So I just want to share so that it might help somebody to get, motivated about all, things that's happening. So couple of years back, I was in US and, we moved there and I was working in India and I had a 3 months old baby. happy. And so all that ego was there, like, oh, I've left my job, I've left my career, I worked so hard all my life, studying and did nothing else. And then I'm looking after the baby, and then I had a health breakdown. So all that spiral started, and then I started getting anxious, and my digestion started shutting down. Everything like came, and I was desperate, for some help. So being a vegetarian, even when I couldn't eat, people over there put me on meat, and I was so hungry, so desperate for food that I even started eating, something that I could digest, because I was not able to even digest moong dal. That was, the thing. So and I was very sure I don't want to go on anxiety pills. That was somehow in my head, I don't want those. I don't know how, but it was there in my mind. So and I then attended Shri Ravi Shankar ji ka Art of Living ka course and everything. Finally one day I just sat in the temple and I cried like anything कि मुझे help चाहिए, आप बताओ अब क्या करना है, that ways. So my mom called me to India. You come here, and I want you to take to somebody. And I went and met him, and he's my guru now. And I went there, and he said, don't worry, you just chant what I'm giving you every day 1 hour. So, and my mental health was in a state कि मैं आंख बंद करके कुछ नहीं कर सकती थी, because so many thoughts were rushing. So I was moving, I was doing, I was, and any thought that would come, it would make me shiver. Gradually, I realized doing constant chanting, moving, sitting, and anything, before the thought could come that would scare me, the thought would go away as soon as I would chant. So gradually, my anxiety started going away. My digestion started improving. And I'm still doing it. I used to do every day 1 hour. So that is how, when I surrendered, that was the state, because nothing was helping me. Nothing. And I was literally like, मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा मैं क्या करूं. Then probably I found him. Still he wanted me to do it 3 hours. I mean, I had my own reasons. कैसे उठूं 4 बजे रात को, I have late हो जाता है, and then I have to send kids to school, Um, I recently I have some health breakdown, and literally a month ago I realized that's it. I am doing it every day for 3 hours. No matter what, without anything. I'm not asking him anything. I am just doing it, and allow life to unfold whatever is coming, So every day I'm making it a point. I do it, Even if I'm not getting 3 hours continuous, I do 2 hours in the morning and then 1 hour in whole day. But I am making it a point, जो हो जाए, नींद हो नहीं हो, मुझे करना है, and I want to see where it takes me. That is my commitment. The second thing is, somebody talked about कि बच्चा गिर जाए कभी हमें क्या. So I want to share an incident related to that also. Yesterday there was some puja in our house, not in our house, but Devi ji ki puja thi, and my mother-in-law wanted me to go to temple with her. And in my mind I had that मुझे 10:30 बजे sadhana ke liye baithna hai, that 1 hour, because I have to do it empty stomach, So I was like कि अब मुझे जाना है. Then I remembered that surrender thing. So I did it, and I went nicely to the temple with her. जो करना था सब मैं करके I came back 11:30, and I asked her कि किचन में कुछ करना है क्या. She said नहीं नहीं, सब लोग 12:30 से पहले खाना नहीं खाएंगे, तो अभी कुछ नहीं करना है. I quietly went in my room, and I did that 1 hour sadhana, what I wanted to do. So I did that also. I did this also.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we had a part, मतलब उसका पार्ट था 1:30 बजे से. एंड मुझे वो बहुत समझ नहीं आता है, क्योंकि बचपन से मैंने नहीं किया हुआ है वो. आई वॉज सिटिंग विद द बुक, आई वॉज रीडिंग इट, बट इंटरनली माई चैंटिंग वॉज गोइंग ऑन. तो couple of examples that I share. एक और है. Second thing is, my husband started his own startup 2.5 years back. It was it was going through some breakdown. So finally he was trying everything, and he has that philosophy कि जो भी करना है वो बड़े होके एक एज में करना चाहिए, इस एज में कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Finally, this was the year when we felt कि भाई savings पे we are running short, we have to do, it has to. So I requested him one day कि आपको जो गुरुजी बोल रहे हैं आप 1 घंटा हमारे लिए निकालो. Think it as, you giving family time to us. No expectations, nothing out of it. Just आप कर दो. Just out of love for us or whatever, he did it. And he said उनको उसको अच्छा करके peace मिलता है. I said you just do it for the peace of mind. That's it, leave everything. After 2.5 2 months of doing it, he got the job, what he wanted, how much he wanted. Like, he's very happy right now. So the thing is, I just want to share from my experiences. You will get it. Just have some patience. And he takes care of everything, is probably, I believe. Even right now I have breakdowns. It doesn't mean like guru mil gaya to koi life mein breakdowns nahi aayenge ya kuch nahi aayenge. But I have that confidence and patience. रास्ता वही दिखाएंगे. तो मुझे रास्ता देखना है, तो I have to increase my sadhana, my commitment, what he wants. तो it's I just feel कि दो लोगों का अपना आपस में एक बॉन्डिंग जैसा है कि तुम ये करो and then you leave it on me and then I will take care of it. So that is from my personal experience. You always share, but I wanted it to come from me also, so that people get motivated कि you keep doing it and it will happen.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
They were very good experiences.
Thank you.
Actually, it'll also be really nice if you'll all share your videos, friends. Otherwise, I'm only seeing my own face, and there's nobody else that I see behind the name. So it'll be nice if you can share your videos, and we can sort of get accustomed to seeing faces also. Any other questions, or we can wrap up? Oh, all of it. Putting your videos. No, thank you. No other questions? Okay. Chalo. Preeti, you were having some question, right? You had put it on the chat. What was it? Can you just tell, maybe with your video on? Unmute.
Yeah, the question I had asked is, you mentioned that there is nothing called as good or bad. Actually, when somebody raises their voice or starts hitting somebody, or for everything they use bad words, is it not bad?
See, when we say, there are so many people who uses the word called kutta. Let's say while traveling, or they say you dog, or in Kannada they call them gube, owl.
Yeah.
It is more, is a owl a bad thing, or is dog a bad thing? There is
No.
actually, the word itself is not bad, but what we think, or the belief system, overall collective belief system for that word has an energy attached, which is so called bad. But which means if you use that word, there is a belief system that it is a bad word. Since the intention is to believe that it is bad, it will continue to reflect in that way only for us. But as such, life is meaningless. If we give, I can probably not think some word is bad. Somebody else might think that word is bad. So it's the word that is, it's not the word that is bad or good. It is about what we attach meaning with that word. It's good or bad. So when we think that it is just if he's telling something, let him tell whatever he wants. But in my thing, for me, every single word is a manifestation of God. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, he says, I am the what do you say, I think he says A. I am the A of every akshara, the vowel that is necessary to make any word. So it is that God's, see, one thing that we have to remember is there is a saying, I forgot from whom, everything has God in it. Okay, everything has God in it. But if we keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And then we keep pushing ourselves to see God in that. Finally, we will break open. We'll break all of these barriers, and then we will enter the realm of magic, where we see only nothing but God inside everything.
Okay.
But are we willing to go and are we willing to look that much further into that same word or same person or same situation or same experience? There is God's hand behind everything. But if we are willing to look at it, then we'll see it.
Okay. Maybe I started looking the other way. I started
No,
looking into the
see,
meanings.
this is where we say, no, we get triggers. We get triggers to see what emotion something brings out inside us. And it is not about that person. It is about, you should look at what is it that they were trying to show you, which is inside you, because you can only correct yourself. You cannot change anybody. And they are behaving in such a way so that it brings out some emotion that is inside you. You never knew that you had inside you unless they brought it out. Repeatedly, if it's coming out, it means that you are not willing to see. Repeatedly,
Yes,
if you think
maybe.
that somebody is bad, you're always using bad words. That is because you have still not willed to see what he's trying to show inside you. Once you
What
see
I
what is
would
inside you
feel
in
is,
installments, it will go off. And then when you come to the genuine acceptance, it was me, it was always within me, then he will stop showing that. He will stop using bad.
okay, how I would take it is, just because I don't use such words and he is using it, I would take it the other way. Maybe I have not
Why am I
seen.
attracting such bad people into my life, kind of thing?
Yes,
That was,
yes,
see,
yes.
this law of attraction has is twisted in many different ways that we want in many contexts. But law of attraction is actually much more than what we think it is. We should always see law of attraction from a oneness point of view and not from a separation point of view. When you look at it from a separation point of view, then you will always see that, oh, I attracted such a bad person in my life. It is because of my
Yes.
energy. Which means you still think that that person is bad, and then I have done something bad to attract such a bad person in my life. And then
Yes, I
what
would
you do,
think that.
you'll like run to do good things in your life so that you can eradicate that person from your life. That attitude itself is of separation, no? But the whole
Yes.
point is to get to that state of oneness and see God within everything. And this acceptance and surrender is still doing the same thing. You're still seeing that you have such a person in my life because you have that thing inside you. But instead of trying to remove him from your life, you're trying to remove something that is inside you, and that also cannot be removed by you. You have to surrender. Like I said, that fairy tale thing, God will come with his chariot, all of that has to happen, and only then it will go.
Okay, that was very hard for me initially, but now I started looking, okay, let me see what happens.
Yeah.
That kind
Slowly,
of,
when we develop this habit, no, it will get cultivated. We have, like we said, we have to nurture. And if that sprout has to, that seed has to, first of all, seed also has not been planted. It is still, land only is still being cultivated. So that land is being prepared to get to that stage of sprouting.
okay. If
Then,
I need to understand what is the intent behind that anger or the words that is coming out, I try asking what made that trigger or something like that, but there is no response or something.
from
But
them,
then I start, yes. But
they
then I
will not
start
know,
observing,
because that answer for why is never there. They are
yes,
only a reflection. They are like a dummy. They're like dolls. You can't get anything from them that you want to really know. And even if they tell you something, you will not be satisfied,
yes,
because that
that
is
happens.
still coming from your ego only. So there is nothing in the world that is going to satisfy you, because the world itself is made to be a place of not being to not have that satisfaction. Which is why we go inwards, no, to look for that answer, because nothing in the world is still satisfying you. See, the happiness that you're looking for in every relationship, every object, every situation, every experience is not there. It is inside you. And only when you connect to that God that is inside you, you will find the same happiness in the same person in the same object, in the same experience, or the same situation. It is just a different way of connection. Before you connected to them and try to look for it outside you, now you're trying to look for that. You're connected to God within you, and then you're trying to look at the same person with the magical eyes.
Okay.
Divine vision. You're going to develop divine vision. Okay?
Thank you, Smita.
Okay, thank you guys. To the Supreme God, we thank you for your great, great blessings to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones. We thank you for your great, great blessings. Thank you. Bye.